You know what? Today's story is going to be special because today we are talking about one of my favorite car brands, the German brand with four rings, Audi. So without any further delay, let's get started with the history of one of my favorite car brands in the world, Audi. Today I will tell you two stories. One is the story of an Audi car, and the other is the story of the Audi business. First, let's start with the story of an Audi car. And for this story, I will take you back to 1939, where a young Jewish mechanic was working at Audi in the 1930s. His name was Joseph, and he was the master of engines. He was so good that when his boss would come to him and say, "Joseph, we need a new engine," Joseph would just look at him and say, "I already have it." And then he would bring the most powerful engine to his boss. Now, his boss was very happy with Joseph because he was saving them lots of time and money. But one day his boss came up to him and said, "Joseph, I want a very special car." And Joseph said, "I'm listening." The boss said, "I want a car that should go from 0 to 60 in less than 8 seconds, but it should also return more than 30 miles per gallon. I want a car that should be as light as possible, but also have a big trunk." In simple words, he wanted a perfect car. But there was one problem. At that time, all cars were heavy. They used heavy steel bodies and heavy engines. So Joseph knew that if he made a car with the same steel body and same engine, he wouldn't be able to make that car light. And that's when he had an idea. What if he makes a car with an aluminum body? So he went to his boss and asked for permission to make a car with an aluminum body. The boss agreed. And that's when Joseph made one of the most beautiful cars ever, which later came to be known as the Auto Union 11. Now, this car looked absolutely beautiful. It had a long hood and a short deck with a beautiful sloping roofline. And not just that, this car returned 40 miles per gallon and it could go from 0 to 60 in just 7.8 seconds. Now, this car was not just a success, it was a revolution. Everyone loved it. But the problem was World War II happened and not many people were interested in buying a car. So Joseph's dream with this car was put on hold. But after the war, everyone forgot about this car except for Joseph. And Joseph kept on improving this car. And in 1949, he brought this car out again. He named this car the Audi, which was the Latin word for "I am going." And since then, this car became the face of West Germany. It was a symbol of economic recovery of Germany, so much so that the first owner of this car never sold it. He drove this car till he died. And when he died, this car passed on to his son, and he too drove it till he died. And when he died, this car passed on to his grandson, who is driving it till today. That's the story of the Audi 101. Let me now tell you the story of how Audi became such a big brand. The story of how Audi became such a big brand dates back to 1899. Back then, two engineers from Germany decided to join hands and make an engine. One was named August Horch, and the other was named Paul Daimler. Yes, like the Mercedes we talked about in the previous episode. So these two engineers joined hands and created an engine, and they thought of naming their company Horch und Daimler Motorengesellschaft. But August didn't like the name. He wanted something that would sound cooler. And that's when he called all his friends and said, "Hey guys, I need a name for my company." And one of his friends suggested the name Audi, which was Latin for "I am going." And August liked the name, and that's what he chose for his company. But little did he know that this name would go on to become one of the most valuable automotive names in the world. Anyway, the company started making engines, and soon it started making cars. And these cars were not bad. They were selling around 25,000 units every year. But then the world wars happened, and the company was completely destroyed. August tried to rebuild the company, but he was getting old, and he didn't have enough money. So he sold the company to a guy named Ferdinand Porsche. Yes, the same Ferdinand Porsche who made Volkswagen. And under Ferdinand, the company experienced its golden era. They introduced their first front-wheel drive car. Not just that, Audi became the first car company to use aluminum alloy in their cars. They even made diesel engines, and they even made the fastest diesel car in the world. But then came the oil crisis, and people stopped buying fast cars. And that's why Ferdinand decided to sell Audi to another German company called Volkswagen. And under Volkswagen, Audi became one of the most profitable brands in the world. This is because Volkswagen gave Audi the freedom to do whatever they wanted to do. They gave them more money to spend. And this is when Audi made some of its most iconic cars, like the Audi Quattro, which was the first car to use Quattro all-wheel drive. They also made the original Audi R8, which was a supercar with a 5.2-liter V10 engine. They also made a small economical car for people who didn't have much money. They called it the Audi 80. And this car was such a hit that it became the best-selling European car in 1987. Then came the time when people started looking for bigger cars. And that's when Audi made the Audi 100, which was a big leap forward for Audi. This car was not just good-looking, it was also very safe. It had features like driver's side airbags, anti-lock brakes, electronic stability control, and this car became the first 5-star rated car in Europe. Not just that, this car set new standards in luxury. It was the first car to have a full leather interior, the first car to have a Bose sound system, the first car to have a CD player, and people loved this car. They were selling 700,000 units of this car every year. But then came the time when everyone started buying SUVs. And that's when Audi made the first ever SUV that people actually bought. It was called the Audi Q7. It was a big, bulky, boxy-looking car, but people loved it. Not just in America, they loved it all over the world. And today, 7 out of 10 cars that Audi sells is an SUV. Today, Audi is a huge brand. Today, they sell around 1.8 million cars every year. They have 188,000 employees, and they operate 176 facilities all over the world. Their latest launch was this car, the Audi A6, which has some mind-blowing features like Level 4 autonomous driving. With this car, Audi has entered into the chat of Tesla and Mercedes for making the smartest car in the world. Not just that, Audi is also working on flying cars. Yes, the same Audi that makes your everyday cars is also working on flying cars. In fact, they have already tested this flying car. It can fly 60 kilometers. It can carry 4 people. All you have to do is to press a button and this car will take off. But the problem is governments all over the world haven't yet allowed this car to be on roads. I think Audi has earned the right to be one of the most premium car brands in the world. They've been consistent. They've made great cars for more than a century. I'm sure you agree with me on this. Tell me in the comments section below if you agree with me or not. If you're a car enthusiast like me, then I have some exciting news for you. Me and my team have made a group where we talk about cars all day long, share the latest car news, do live sessions, answer all your car-related questions. And guess what? We have crossed the 10K members mark. So, if you haven't already joined, then go ahead and join now and let's talk about our favorite topic, cars. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you really did enjoy it, then show us by giving us a like and subscribing to our channel. We will see you in the next one.